Just sitting back waiting. Man. Sitting back waiting for callers now. What's going on, guys? Oh yeah, for everyone, what's up? Right now, I'm just waiting for people to call in. For everybody who wants to call in and talk, the phone number is, hold on one second. All right, the phone number for the podcast is 319-527-2775 for anybody who wants to call in. Tonight I'm going to be, yeah, let me cut that down. But yeah, I'm going to have to cut the volume back up once I get a caller. Or callers. But yeah, the phone number to call in is 319-527-2775. And then I have to give you like the rest of the information through your inbox, because there's like a certain code that you got to type in for it. But I'm going to talk about a couple things tonight. First thing I want to talk about is getting over a breakup. That's what I want to talk about first. That's first things first. Yeah, thank you for posting the number. And then the passcode is 758093. Yeah, I know it's a lot of stuff, but you know, you got to deal with that when you have that whole thing set up. But other than that, how's everybody doing tonight? Yep. What's going on, Jeremy? But yeah, let me see who else. Because I had a few people saying that they were going to come on live with me to talk. But yeah, I suppose I could just start talking and just wait for people to chime in or whatever. But it's kind of hard to do it over the music. But yeah, far as the whole getting over a breakup thing, it's kind of difficult. Well, I mean, well, it's not really difficult, but the breakup process can be hell, especially if you're really close and attached to that person. But I gotta say that what is the longest that let's see, the longest I've ever been with somebody was probably a year and a half on and off, and the shortest amount of time I was with somebody was like a week. Hey, Callie, how you doing? What's going on, John? But as far as the grieving process for a breakup or whatever, how long should you grieve, cry, boo-hoo, be upset before you actually break up with somebody? I say it depends on how long you've been with them. But now I say it's tough because, like I said, it depends on how long you're with that person. I say if you're with that person for 6 months to a year, I say it should take you about maybe a couple weeks to get over them. But shoot, this is the weird thing. Weird thing is that I know people who've been in 5, 6, and 7 year relationships, and they get over it in the same day or two. They get over it in a couple of days. And meanwhile, you got people who only been in a relationship with each other for like a month or two, and they still ain't over it. That's the weirdest thing about it. But like I said, it depends. Everybody's different. Everybody heals different. And but like I said, it all depends on the person. I get, and it also depends on not before you break up, but after. Like how long does it take you to get over a person? But now because of what I've been through, because like even if I was with a woman for like a month, it would take me months to get over a breakup. Now, like I said, if you've been through some things, and if after you know what a breakup feels like, you know how much it hurts, then it shouldn't take you that long to get over it. If I were you, if I was anybody, I wouldn't grieve over it for anybody for longer than 2 weeks. 2 weeks, you cry, you boo-hoo, you drink, you do whatever the hell you need to do. You do your little personal therapy, and then you move on. Like I said, shoot, some people move on in a day or two. It depends on the situation. But like I said, it depends. They were probably over before it ended. I mean, that's true too. I mean, it really, like I said, that's true. But some people, they look for a whole new relationship before they end theirs. Facebook is living proof of that. Because relationship-wise, it took me some time to get over it. If only we had history. And see, that's another thing right there. That right there is the reason why you don't want to just rush from one relationship to the other one, because it's always going to turn out bad. Because I never talked to somebody, or I never tried to get with somebody who was fresh out of a relationship. I always try to wait at least like maybe about a month or two before they broke up. Because the thing is, I know somebody who's been in a relationship on and off for 5 years. And the thing is, you see all the time on Facebook, they date each other for like 2 or 3 months, then they break up, then they're back together 2 weeks later. Then they back to each other, then everything's fine for like 2 or 3 weeks, or everything's fine for 2 or 3 months, then they break up again, then they get back with each other 2 or 3 weeks later. It's a repeating process, and it's been going on for like 5 years. But like I said, that's the reason why, because a lot of people don't know when to, if y'all been together 5 or 6 years, you get over it fast, or if they were cheating on you, like, let's see, or ever if they was cheating on you, or they really wasn't in love with you to begin with. That's also true. A lot of people say that the faster somebody gets over a breakup, the least attached they were. Yes and no, because it depends. Like I said, because if you are kind of numb to getting your heart broken, and if you're kind of used to the breakup process, then of course it's not gonna hurt as much. Like I remember, like everybody's been through this. I remember like my first 1 or 2 breakups were like suicide. Like everybody's first couple breakups always make somebody want to kill themselves, or they make you feel depressed. You want to cry, you want to drink, you want to throw yourself off a cliff. You're like, man, this breakup hurts. I don't want to live anymore. But I mean, hey, you're gonna start. The thing is, like, it's not like I felt that way when the first girl that I had feelings for, me and her broke up. But you know, eventually I had to tell myself, hey, this ain't the first time you done got your heart broken, and it's probably not going to be the last time either. So you might as well. But thing is, it's hard to detach yourself from somebody. Well, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people say that it's hard to, like, relationships are easy. It's easy to get into, but they're hard to maintain. If the relationship is over, sometimes you try to make it work. I was in a relationship for 1.5 years. Last relationship ended bad because I tried to make it work for 6 months. And he was moving on so easy. But the thing, and that's the thing, it wasn't because of, I don't think it was because of you. I don't think he moved on because he didn't care about you. I feel like that the reason why he was able to move on faster than you was because he's like, well, I've been through this before. And thing is, we've been on and off for so long, it's like, if I leave now, then it won't hurt as much as when we first break up. That's what people don't understand. And the thing is, breakups hurt less if you were with that person before, because it's like, well, you already know what to expect. So if you really break up with that person for the second or third time, or however many times y'all been together, then it won't hurt as much. But that's pretty much what I get out of it. In my case, I don't necessarily get over them. You want to mess with other chicks to get your mind off of it. It's like they end up being the rebound. And the thing is, I did that with one of my breakups too. I'm like, well, but the thing is, you got to understand that, you know, no matter how much you party, no matter how much you get drunk, no matter how much you sleep around with other girls, blah, 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 yada, 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 that's not going to take that pain away. That don't heal no broken heart, you know, messing around with a bunch of hoes. It really doesn't. That's just a temporary fix. Take it from somebody who knows. That's just a temporary fix. But a lot of people say, well, they should have somebody, this is why you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket and you should have somebody on the rebound anyway. But the thing is, because of what I've been through, I don't completely disagree with that now. I mean, because whether we all want to admit it or not, everybody got somebody on the rebound. Everybody got somebody who's on the back burner waiting in the wings to get with them or whatever. Everybody does. I don't care how many of y'all don't want to admit it. I don't care how many, y'all deny this. It's the truth. My ex and I were going 4 years. He cheated. I ended up cheating. But see, and that's the thing. You have to add, if a breakup ends because of one person cheating, that person has to ask himself, is it worth it? And the thing is, a lot of the time, the person who ends up cheating ends up taking it back. Like, you know what? I'm going to give that person another chance. Get over them by getting under someone else. Can't beat that logic. But you met your husband and now it's still growing strong. But if you have a back burner, let's just ask for your relationship to fall. Like I said, it's kind of, that's true, but then again, it's not really. Because the thing is, the person who you're with, they can have somebody on the back burner too. And the thing is, you could not know about it. And who knows? That person that's on the back burner could be their ex. How many of y'all has that happened to? You break up with somebody, or you break up with somebody, and the first person they go back to is their ex. How many is that? If that's ever happened to you, raise your hand. Or give me a wave, That's where trust comes in. Yeah. But trust these days is few and far in between. You have to trust the person you're with. But like I said, trust nowadays, it really is, it's a gamble, man. Trust nowadays, it really is a gamble. Because it's like, well, I'm putting all this into this person, but that's the thing, you don't know if you're going to get the same thing back. That's why I feel like it's a gamble anyway. It depends on how honest that person is with their feelings and if they really want to get over their ex and analyze what happened, why the relationship went wrong. person who carries the least has the most power in a relationship. Of course they can, because it's easier for them to walk away. But as far as why the person is getting back with their ex, maybe something, some people, when they get back with their ex, sometimes it's more successful the second time. But thing is, a lot of the times when a lot of people get back with their ex, it ends a lot quicker. And like I said, and when it ends quicker, it hurts a lot less, because it's like, well, it's like, well, don't act like I didn't see this coming, because a lot of people give people chances to give, especially the thing is, I don't know why. Women do this more than anybody else. I don't understand why it's easier for women to take a man back after he cheated, but a woman will not do the same. A man won't do the same thing. If a man gets cheated on once, it's over. He will never take her back. Ever. But a woman will take a man back who's cheated 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. And this is the reason why y'all do it. You're like, well, maybe he got all the cheating out of his system. Maybe he's over. Nope. Because the more you take him back, the more he's going to fit. The thing is, after you've taken him back for cheating for the second time, he's like, hey, there's no consequence in the repercussion. I can cheat as many times as I want. She's going to take me back. And all I got to do is just come crying, groveling on my feet, come back begging on my hands and knees and say, I'm sorry. That's usually how it works. Everybody has different opinions on cheating. Some guys think if you don't have sex with them, then you're not cheating. Some things, and some things you do. You can't bring what your ex did in your current relationships. Yeah, a lot of people do make the next pay for what the ex did. I'm guilty of that. Everybody at some point in their life is guilty of that. And like a lot of people say, well, my guard is up now, so I'm going to not trust this person with my heart right away. I'm going to make them work for it. And the thing is, that's kind of making the next person suffer too. But it's also, I understand why people go through this, because it's like, well, you kind of want to keep your head and your heart on a swivel. You don't really want to throw yourself out there. But the thing is, a lot of people do it out of spite. A lot of people hop from relationship to relationship out of spite. They say, well, I'm going to go ahead and get in this relationship with this person who I just met last week, all just to show my ex that I don't need them. I've seen people do it before. I've seen people who I know do it before. I've seen people who've been married for 5, 10 years do it before. I've seen people close to me do it before. And the thing is, you teach people how to treat you. But that's true. But like I said, I've seen people who've been in relationships for years. That's not a real relationship then. It's a rebound. That's true. That's facts. There really is people, the thing is, I've seen it myself. Like I said, there really is people who get in relationships out of pure spite. But then again, you do gotta ask yourself what's real to you these days in a relationship anyway. A lot of people's relationships nowadays is kind of based off of a lie. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. Because like, there was this one girl who I was talking to maybe, I say last year or 2 years ago. Now, this is a girl. Now, the thing is, I don't really suppose it was quote unquote a relationship. It's kind of like we weren't together. We weren't together, but we kind of had like a mutual understanding. Like we knew how things were gonna be between us. And it's like, well, we might not have a title, but we both know what it is. We both know. There's certain boundaries that you can and you can't cross. It's like, have you ever, the thing is, and this, I'm about to ask y'all a question right here. Have y'all ever been faithful to somebody who you were not completely had a title with? Because I actually made that mistake to where I was in a relationship where the relationship was one-sided, or I had both feet in and the other person had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. A lot of people find themselves in that kind of situation. That's that's what you call a situationship. It's like one person's giving 100% and the other person's giving like 40 or 50. Man, these allergies. But yeah, that'll do it for that topic. Now, let's move on to the next topic. And this is pretty much just hopping right off of what I was just now talking about. How long do y'all think that talking phase should last? How long should it be before it goes, oh, me and this person, oh, we're just talking. We're not official, but me and this person are just, we're dating. How long should that phase last? I say it should last no longer than 3 months. Because after 3 months, it's like, okay, what the hell are we doing? What is this? Yeah, after 3 months, then it should be like, okay, well, are we doing this or not? But I know people, myself included, who, me and this girl, like, we weren't together, but we would do everything that people was in a relationship would do. But the only difference is that me and her just didn't have that title. And once again, for everybody who wants to call in, into the podcast, just take a quick. It's 319-527-2775 for anybody who want to call in and just chop it up with me right quick. That's where males go wrong. We can't treat females like our girl when they're not. Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, it's weird because women can. You notice how like a woman will call a whole bunch of dudes who she's messing with her male friend? But then, if a male does it, it's like, well, we messing around, but that ain't my girl. A lot of people, they know how to play their position. They know how to, what was it that The Rock said? They know how to know their role and shut their mouth. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people, they need to know how to play their position. But shoot, I don't know if y'all tell me, because I've done this before. I guess it's a mistake I made, but it's like, well, I would meet this girl, me and this girl, we'd be talking for whatever. We'd be talking for a little while. Then I introduce her to my family, introduce her to my friends or whatever. And then they'll be like, well, is that your girl? I'm like, no, me and her, we're kind of just talking or whatever. And then a couple months goes by, me and her ain't talking no more. And then my mom asks, what happened to that girl you were talking to? She was nice. I'm like, well, we kind of just fell off. We kind of just not talking anymore. But yeah, once again, for anybody who want to call in, the number is 319-527-2775. And the passcode is 758093. But yeah, man, those situationships is actually the toughest. The situationships are probably tougher than real actual relationships. And the only reason why is because a lot of people don't know where they stand. And that's the thing. You got to know your role. You got to play your position. You got to lay everything out on the table before you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Because I've done that and I've gotten hurt. And unfortunately, I unintentionally did hurt a couple of girls who I've done this with. They're like, well, what's going on with us? Well, what do you mean? We're not together. And it turns out that this girl had feeling for me. But I liked her, but I didn't love her. That's why I don't bring females to meet my parents, because your mom always asks, no matter how, yeah, Exactly, man. Then why introduce her to the family and friends? Because I kind of felt obligated. If me and the girl are talking for a while, I kind of do feel obligated to do that. Because the thing is, I'm just so used to it. I mean, invite her over, for dinner one night. She can meet my mom or whatever. Because I'm like, could this really turn into something, or is this gonna go nowhere? I mean, but that's the thing. A lot of people, they do need to lay their intentions out on the table before they figure out what they're getting themselves into, so that way don't nobody get hurt. And you know what? That's why I say to all relationships or whatever the hell situation you get yourself into with a person, I say that it should be in writing. You should sign a contract with the person, like, okay, what should I, all right, so, okay, you got to let me know what this is now. Is this just a friends of benefits thing? Are we friends? Are we not? Do we not have a title? Are we just exclusive to each other? Or are we just full-blown boyfriend, girlfriend in a relationship? The thing is, you got to know what you are, but you also got to know what you are not. Because I'll be damned if me and a girl are messing around for 3-4 months, and then I want to take it to the next level, and then she's like, oh, we're just friends. Or I do the same thing. I take you out to eat. We mess around. I introduce you to the family. And then I meet your girlfriends. And then I just tell her, oh, no, we ain't serious. We just friends. Then you'll feel, the thing is, if I was to do that, you would feel some type of way. And yes, exactly. I have learned my lesson. Do not let your boyfriend and girlfriend meet the parents unless you are serious with them. I'm never doing that again. You didn't think you introduced to I mean, but the thing is, everybody's different. Like, you can't introduce them to your peoples. But the thing is, it's already different if you and the person you're talking to, let's just say if y'all went to school together and everybody knows it, and the thing is, y'all all know the same people anyway. That's the only situation where it might be different. But me, with people who I talk to, or women that I talk to, like the situation, like the thing is, it's kind of, me, I don't like a lot of spotlight or attention when it comes to relationships because I'm low key with mine, and this is the reason why. Your mom is nosy. Your mom is nosy. If you know a female for a week, you want to meet her. That's how. The thing is, that's a mom thing. All moms do. That's just how moms are. And that's more of a situation. Like I said, I've had my fair share of those, but. Like I said, if you do that, y'all gotta lay out the ground rules before y'all start, taking steps. Bring them in slowly. Let them meet a couple of your friends first. But see, and that's the thing, is because me, I'm what you call an impressionable person. Because it's like, if a girl who I'm talking to or just kind of dating around with, if she introduced me to her friends, they tell her, hey, I like this guy. Or you should really I like this guy. You really should too. Or they like, you know what? Are you and him dating? Are y'all seeing each other? The thing is, if you get your friend, the thing is, if the person you're messing with, or the person you're dating, if you get their friends' approval, then you're almost in the clear. Oh, tell me about it, Mel. You introduce a girl who you've been talking to for a couple of months, and they always have something to say. Man, don't talk to her, bro. I heard something about her. She a hoe. Or, oh man, bro, she ugly. You can do better than that. Yeah, it's that bad. But, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, you're with that person, not them. But I've learned this too. I learned a lot. I learned this, like, if your homeboys try to badmouth your girl, then they want her. Sometimes. I mean, it's not always true, but it is true some of the time. And females more or less do the same thing. Like, girl, he ugly. You can do better than him. It turns out they want his ass the whole time. I've seen it. I've seen it myself. But the thing is, you would think that you wouldn't see that in the real world. You would think you wouldn't see that in the adult world. You would think that's mostly like a middle school, high school, college thing. But nope, grown ass men and women, I've seen it. I've seen people do it. I've seen people go, hey man, don't mess with her. She a hoe. And then you try to talk to her behind your back. The thing is, it happens all the time on social media. And I tell you, like, this shit happened, like, in a few of the circles that I was in. Like, it's this one girl. Yeah, people really are petty. Like, this happened with this one girl. It's like, man, I don't think you want to talk to her, bro. I heard she get around. And I'm like, the thing is, I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I always like, man, I don't believe everything I hear. Or like, oh, she used to mess with this dude. She used to talk to so-and-so. And I'm like, what the hell does that got to do with me? I'm trying to get to know this person. So whatever they did in their past, I mean, the thing is, whether it's true or not, I'm not gonna hold it. I ain't gonna hold it against them because I'm too old for that shit. And because we all have been with somebody. Hell, I'm 29 years old. I'm at the age to where that whole he said, she said bullshit don't even matter no more. Oh man, they used to talk to somebody. So look at where the hell we live. We live in an area where everybody knows everybody. So of course, somebody who you talk to is the person who you're dating now has to talk to somebody that you knew down the road somewhere. Whether if it was middle school, high school, college, or whatever the hell the case might be. Like, I feel like these hoes treat you better than the good ones do. I mean, like I said, it all depends. I guess it depends on the people that you're messing with, for real. But the thing is, the reason why hoes might treat you better is because they're not going to be around long anyway. But the good ones, they end up messing around with dudes who ain't shit because they try to fix those dudes. I done seen women in relationships with dudes for 3, 4, 5 months. Nah, even years. I just in a relationship who wasted 3 or 4 years on the same dude. And then all of a sudden, when she finally gets the balls to break up with him, now all of a sudden she don't trust men at all. Y'all see it? Y'all understand what I'm talking about? And then, while the guy who would treat her right has been fighting tooth and nail to try to get with her, but she wouldn't give him a chance because she's so stuck on trying to get, the dude who she really wants to act right. Once again, the phone lines are open. 319-527-2775. Passcode 758093 for everybody who want to call, for everybody who want to chime in and talk to me on here. Yeah, they want that big turnaround story. Been there, done that. I mean, yeah. Everybody wants somebody to change for them, but he won't change for you. He's only going to change when he wants to, and that's something that y'all need to understand. When a good girl, and that's the thing, a lot of guys want a good girl to turn bad. A lot of girls want a bad guy to turn good. That's the reason why ain't nobody ever satisfied. But yeah, I mean, as far as the whole talking phase or whatever, I say it shouldn't last longer than maybe, I'll give it 3 months. And besides, in that time, the thing is, I don't care what anybody says nowadays. Everybody, like I said, everybody's talking to something. You know what I mean? The thing is, it's your right to do so. If you ain't married, if it ain't a ring on your finger, or if you are not with that person exclusively, then yeah, you can feel free to talk to whoever you want. A lot of people might say, well, you know, it's a bad idea. You don't want to lead somebody on. But I mean, hey, you need to, the thing is, a lot of people, they get attached quick. And a lot of people is like, well, you don't want to be like, well, you don't want to go all in with somebody and they don't do the same thing for you. The talking phase now is 6 weeks. If you wait 3 months, somebody else will come in the picture. That's true. Six weeks is probably a more reasonable time. A month and a half is probably more reasonable. But yeah. But see, this is the reason why I say 3 months. Because you don't really, the thing is, everybody's so quick to jump in a relationship with somebody who they don't truly know. This is facts. What I'm about to tell y'all right now is 100% pure facts. A person you are a person that you are officially in a relationship with doesn't show you their true colors until 6 months down the road. You don't see who they truly are until the first 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, you don't see who they truly are until like the first 4, 5, or 6 months down the road. That's when the person who you're dating shows you their true colors. Because then you start to see all the little quirks. You get to see their full side. You get to see the good and the bad. That first little 3 months, that first little honeymoon phase. I mean, when everything is going right, you know, of course, everything's going right. Y'all are, living in la la land, all that other crap. So of course everything is going to go right in the first month, 2 or 3 months. Then when it's creeping into month 4, month 5, month 6, that's when you start to slowly see the little quirks, the little kinks, the little bad things, all the little things. They might turn into big things later on down the road. It's like, hey, when you do this, I don't like that. Or you start to see their insecurities. Probably about a good 4 months down the road. Ooh. Yeah. I see, the thing is, Mel, I see that happen more often than not. When you and a person are talking for months, then all of a sudden they ghost you one day, and all of a sudden they in a full-blown relationship, or they're engaged. But it's like, wait a minute. You engaged, but weren't you just talking to me 2 weeks ago? Yes, people move on quick. Yes, that was 2 weeks ago. This is today. But yeah, man, people really do move on quick. Can I message you the call-in number? Sure. All right, there you go. Just get the cat first to see if it's worth it nowadays. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's perfect. That's what we're going to talk about next. Is how long should you wait for sex? That's going to be that should be an interesting one. Matter of fact, I posted a video on that probably about a good 3 years. It's been about 3 years now since I talked about that. Because I asked the ladies this question. I was like, ladies, are y'all going? The thing is, what if you make the dude wait 3 months, and then you finally give it to him, and then the sex ends up being whack? What you do then? Where's the video? You'll have to go through my videos on Facebook. Like I said, it's a video from about a good 4 years ago. It's been about 3 years since I posted it now. Hey, is this Callie?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, but now the topic is how long should you wait for sex in a relationship or when you're talking to somebody? Because I talked about this probably about a good 3 or 4 years ago now. I said, what if a girl makes a guy wait 3 months and then she finally decides to give it to him and then the sex ends up being whack?
Yeah.
See, a lot of people say that sex isn't everything. It's true. Sex really is not everything, but some people it might be a little bit of
a key factor.
I mean, it's almost like attraction too. Like, nobody wants to. The thing is, a lot of people say that looks ain't everything, which to me is a bunch of bull jive. But I mean, because attraction is kind of key in a relationship because it's like, well, how someone looks, personality. It matters as well. I say it's about 60-40. 60% personality, about 40% looks and attraction. Because let's be real. Nobody, I don't care how funny somebody is or how budding of a personality they have. Nobody wants to be with somebody who they're not physically attracted to. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the same time, too, you can't look at some players and say, oh my gosh, I'm attracted to your personality. The first thing you see is their look.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to go off by that at some point.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't be dating a mannequin either because, yeah, they might look good, but what if looks is really the only thing that they bring to the table? How long is that going to last?
Oh, no, but once you get into it, you start to see that the personality doesn't match the looks, and that's when you decide if you want to stay or not.
Exactly. I'm actually glad that you brought that up because I've seen people get in a relationship with somebody just based off of looks alone, and it didn't last. And I've seen 2 people who I thought had zero compatibility. It's like, wow, what the hell is this person doing with this person? It's not going to last. And then it turns out they were together for 7 years.
Yeah, well, it's just, I guess it just depends again on the circumstances of everything. Everybody's different, but it's too much. There's too many factors sometimes to back somebody's together with people for 7 years. I've seen people off and on for 9 years and you don't understand why, but for whatever reason, they've got something together that works.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true also. But at some point, the thing is, I was watching a comedy special about this. I think it was Jeff Foxworthy. And I think he said, about why certain marriages, certain relationships last longer than other ones. And he actually the thing is, I grew up in a 2-parent household. Now, my parents have been married for 34 years. They'll be celebrating their 35-year marriage anniversary in June. June 15th is the 35-year marriage anniversary. And now you don't really see couples like that anymore. I'm like, wow, you've been together for 35 years? Most people can't even stay together for 35 days. Yeah, that's the thing. People move on nowadays. The thing is, you're right about that. People these days, they move on nowadays so quick, but the thing is, they do it out of spite. They don't do it. They don't move on because they're ready to move on. They only want to move on because they want to show their ex that they don't need them.
Oh, yeah, and that's all it really comes down to. It's more of a show than anything, but then at that point, you're not really moving on. So later on down the road, and however long you stay with this person, those problems are going to come back again, and then you'll have to go through this whole situation with somebody else. Exactly.
And the thing is, I'm man enough to admit that I'm guilty of that. I've done that before.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like I said, I'm 29 years old. You live and you learn. The thing is, you have to actually go through that. Some people actually have to go through that process to show them that it's like, well, okay, you're going to have to fall on your face a couple of times for you to get it right. So, yeah, the thing is, I'm glad that I learned that lesson.
And it takes a while. You're not going to learn it on the first time. I mean, I'm 30 now, so it took me, I don't know, 20-some years before I actually finally figured it out that that's not what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, like, a lot of people might learn it the first time. Well, they're like in rare occasions, some people might actually, learn it the first couple of times. Some people, they might not learn it until they're in their 40s. Hell, their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people, it all depends on, what you've been through, your personal experiences. You're right, it all really does depend. But now, between the ages of 25 and 35, we're kind of in that little gray, we're kind of in that area where it's like, well, I'm still young enough to have my fun, but I'm old enough to kind of look for something serious. Because, let's be real. I don't want to be 40 years old still dancing at the club. It's still, yeah. The thing is, I like to have fun and everything too. But see, here's the thing. I was a late bloomer. I didn't first go to the club until I was 22. I didn't have my first real relationship till I was my first real relationship until I was 20. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 20 or 21. So I was a late bloomer in a lot of aspects of my life. While a lot of people who grew up around me have already been there and done that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm kind of in that same boat too. I was a late bloomer too, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to go through everything. Either you may go quicker than other people, or you may go through it, and it takes you 10 years later down the road before you even have to experience any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like the best thing to do is probably just to make all those mistakes from age, let's go ahead and say from age 16 to 23, 24. Let's just say from like late high school all the way through early to late college. Let's just go ahead and just say that. Like, it's best to make, because the thing is, a lot of people, they still carry that baggage with them. A lot of people, they carry it as either baggage and it makes them bitter, or they just take it as a lesson learned and they become a better person for it.
Right, but it usually takes for it to be a lesson. Usually, again, in my experience, you have to meet somebody who's going to show you everything that you should have had in the first place, that makes you go back and look back to what you did have. Oh, well, I shouldn't have been dealing with this in the first place. This is how it should have been. Right. I don't think that lesson learned comes necessarily on its own. Somebody has to show it to you. Yeah,
because even a couple of the relationships I was in, the thing is, I was with that person, but I wasn't still completely secure in myself, because it's like, oh man, I'm finally with somebody after years of being alone. What if I could do something to mess this up? And it's like, I tried too hard to hold on, and then I ended up pushing them away anyway. But then again, a lot of people say, well, if a person wants to leave, it's because they wanted to, not because you pushed them away. But thing is, that you can go heads or tails on that, but I guess that's half true and half false.
It can be both ways. Because if you're doing things that person doesn't really seem to like in the first place, they're going to eventually gravitate away from you. They're going to go in the opposite direction. Like you said, you're going to push them away, and it's going to become a situation that they don't want to be in anymore. So you may be trying to do the right thing, but it's not what they want.
But you could be pushing them into the arms of someone worse. That's the only drawback of it. But thing is, that's probably going to be a lesson that they have to learn. They had something good, and they go to, because you know the saying that the grass is always greener on the other side. Though the grass is not always green on the other side, and if it is, it's because it's fertilized with a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Well, they've got to figure that out for themselves, man. That's just kind of, and that's what I think when you were talking about earlier about how women take back men who cheat so much, is because I think it's they went and saw that it's not what they're going to want in the first place. So we'll give them another chance. We'll let them come back and try, and we are in it for 5+ years, if not, some of them longer, before they realize they need to let this go.
Yeah, and do you know what that's called? It's called the devil you know syndrome. Because it's like, well, they're like, hey, wow, I might as well, if this guy's going to cheat on me 4 or 5 or 6 times in a row, what's the point of going to find someone new when they could do the same thing? So I might as well just stick it out. And you shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah, I've got my cousin, she's going through something similar with that right now. This guy, he showed her time and time again that he just doesn't care. He's going to do what he wants to do. He hasn't necessarily cheated on her, but his actions show that he can. So, but she's still trying to just, look at that. He doesn't really feel who's going through something right now, it's hard to get them to see.
Yeah. But you also have to look at the era that we live in now. We live in the social media era. Like I said, I've seen like a person in 3 different relationships in just a span of a month. And the thing is, you used to not see that a lot back when we were kids, back when we were growing up. But now it's a lot more common. And the thing is, with the way things are now, it's become a lot more acceptable too.
Oh yeah, it becomes people are flavor of the month instead of an actual relationship. It's all who's she with now or who's he with now.
Exactly. And I mean, like I said, people always try to see if the grass is green on the other side. 9 times out of 10, it's not. You go thinking that, hey, I like this person I'm with, but can I do better? And that's another thing that I want to talk about right quick, because I was listening to a couple of comedians, and a lot of people say that a lot of people are, some people are only in relationships just because of pure stability. They're not with the person who they're with because they love them or because they are attracted to them. They're only with them because it's like, well, if I can't get a person who's a 10, I might as well just give me somebody who's a 7 and be happy. Are you only with the person you're with because you really care about them, or is it because you feel like that's the best that you can do and you're tired of waiting? But
yeah,
I feel like that at some point, because I had this conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and she says there's a difference between settling and compromise. Compromise means, okay, we both got flaws, we both have things that that we don't like about each other, but those little things. But the big picture is that we can work together on those things. You have some things about you that I might not like. I might have some things about you that you don't like. But overall, because it depends, are you a detailed person or are you a big picture kind of person?
It's a big picture. I mean, you need to figure out what's going to be happening later on the road, 5 years, 10 years from now. What do you see yourself as?
Right.
Do you see yourself with a family and all that, or just living in the moment?
Yeah. Because, like I said, I'm almost 30, and I don't have any kids right now. And, like, a lot of people who we grew up with, already either have a family or they're single parents, which, nothing wrong with that. But it's like, you would think, a lot of people's like, well, Jay, you're a good-looking guy. Like, why are you single? Or why are you not married now? Or why are you don't have a family or have kids, nothing like that? Because my parents, like I said, they've been married since 1985. Yeah, and the thing is, stuff like that's not common. I mean, that's really not common nowadays. And now, if you look at the statistics, a lot of marriages these days, they don't even go past the 3-year mark.
And that's the thing that people, they don't have that role model to look up to. So basically, how your parents' marriage was is usually how your marriage is going to end up being.
Yeah.
But when we got married, we had to do marriage counseling, and that was the first thing he asked us was, what does the marriage and your family look like? Neither one of us have divorce in our family. So, that's what we see, that's what we know. But if not, and one of us did, that could end up being, you're taught to just throw it away if it doesn't work.
Yeah, but now the thing is, I wanted to get married, but now I kind of think it's more of a liability than anything. Because, I mean, the thing is, the older I got, the more I realized that marriage really is not for everybody. Is marriage a great thing? Yes, it's a beautiful thing. But marriage these days, I mean, it really is not for everybody, because you might not be at the same point in your life as the person is, or they might be looking for something different, or you might not be what they're looking for. It's a whole bunch of different things. But, I mean, a lot of people might not be over the little party phase or whatever the case might be. A lot of people might just not, I wouldn't say commitment is a thing. Well, because you remember I said this in last week's podcast, there's a difference between committing and investing. Marriage is an investment. Like, marriage or a long-term relationship is an investment. And I'm looking at Mel Hampton in the chat. He says that marriage is not for me. I mean, it's like I said, it's not for everybody. It might not be for you, but you got to live your life according to you. And then if you can find somebody who shares your mutual interests and who actually has the same thing in mind that you can work, maybe you can find somebody that'll make it work. But if not, then just live your life accordingly. That's all I got to say about that, really.
Right. Well, and then like you said too, like the girl that you were talking to, you said the difference between settle and compromise, and that's all really marriage is you're compromising with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't like how you do this, but I'm willing to accept this, that, and the other. So if you can find that person who you're willing to make those compromises with, and you're going to make something work out. But again, like you said, it's not for everybody, and you shouldn't have to try to force it onto somebody just because that person in the relationship wants to be married. You can't force a marriage. It's not going to work.
Yeah. And a lot of people got kids and stuff like that. And a lot of people's relationships and marriages are only still holding on to or only clinging on by a rope because they have a kid in the picture and they don't want their kids growing up in a separate household.
Like, you also don't want them, growing up in a household where they see mom and dad constantly fighting because it's not going to show them too.
Yeah, that's even worse. But, some people make things work. Some people don't. I mean, but if it was me, like I said, because I grew up only knowing my mother and my father. A lot of people who I grew up with, especially, I hate to say this, but a lot of people in, the black community, like only 4 out of 10 black households are actually married. The other 6 out of 10 is single parents. Mm-hmm. But like I said, some people, they compromise, they can make it work, whatever. And my boy Mel Hampton, he says, I can't date a woman with more than 1 kid now. I mean, if you're 25 and up, that's going to be a difficult feat. That really is going to be difficult for you. I said to myself that I wasn't going to date a woman with no kids. But the thing is, now I'm older, and the older you get, the harder that's going to be to find. He also said, he just now said 2 is the limit. But like I said, it also depends on how old you are. Because like I said, me, I'm going to be 30 on July 13th. So... And, I guess I'm a unicorn because most of the guys who I grew up with, they all got kids now. Well, most of them do. I can only probably think about 4 or 5 of my male friends who I grew up with who don't have kids right now. And who are my age or who are maybe a couple of years older. And I asked them the same thing. I'm like, well, why do you not have kids? Or why are you not married? I'm like, some people are like, well, I just haven't found the right girl, or... I'm just waiting a little bit longer, or hey, maybe kids and family. I mean, kids and marriage. Maybe that's just not for me. Maybe I should just live life for myself. In which, in case, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people feel like if you're not married or have a family or have that nice car or have that nice white house, that big house with the picket fence and the Labrador Retriever, a lot of people feel like if you ain't married by age 25 or 30, then there's something wrong with you. And I don't agree with that.
Yeah, and that's where the societal pressure comes in, because it's just, we do what you said, we're doing this, that, and the other. Why aren't you married? And then people try to start thinking, well, there must be something wrong with him. You might not want to be in a relationship with him, but clearly he's going on 30, not married, no kids. What's going on with him?
Exactly.
When it's not the case at all. So we're going to judge you before they even get to know you, and that's why most people nowadays are 30 or older, not married, no kids, just living life because nobody wants to give them a chance.
Exactly. And shoot, the thing is, I feel like the people who think like that, I feel like there must be something wrong with them. It's because they're so used to running into that garbage. Because a lot of the women who I know who are looking for that ideal guy, they're so used to dating douchebags that, they're so used to dating guys who have, so much baggage come along with them. They're so used to dating guys who are in and out of jail, or who are, have a whole bunch of kids by a whole bunch of different women, or who dating guys who are used to cheating and stepping out on them, that when they get a guy who's stable, they're like, wow, this is something new. Or they enjoy it at first, but then they feel like it's too good to be true.
Yep.
And that's how a lot of their relationships end up falling by the wayside, because it's like, well, it's because they're so used to living their life on the edge when it comes to relationships. They're so used to feeling like something bad's going to happen. They're so used to feeling like that something's going to be wrong, that they push that person they push that person away from them by thinking they're going to do something wrong.
Yep.
And you shouldn't. The thing is, I feel like that if you have that mentality going in a relationship, that you shouldn't be in one, period.
I don't really know on that one, though, because it depends on your previous relationship, too, because that kind of describes what Ron was. The last one, like I said, he cheated. We ended up going back and forth. It was way too long. By the end of the whole relationship, honestly, I ended up hating the guy just because there was just so much into that. Mm-hmm. But taking that forward into the relationship that I had after him, it took me a minute, and he even had to break me of some of the things that I was doing that I would do in the last relationship, of walking on eggshells, and not talking, and keeping your feelings inside so you don't talk about it. It takes a person to break it from you. So I don't know if you should necessarily not be in a relationship. You just might need that one to help you get out of what you did before.
Right. Like I said, some people, like, they have that wall up, and the reason why is because they're still kind of scarred from the person they're with. And the thing is, a lot of people's first love or their first couple of relationships, they leave the biggest impression on you. So that's why a lot of people have gone through what they've gone through. Because because I know some people who have more baggage with only being with 2 or 3 people than the person who's been with 20 or 30.
Are you talking like 2 or 3 people in a long-term relationship?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Long-term relationship. There's been people, there's people who have been with somebody. When I say long-term relationship, you might have a different definition than me, but I think long-term relationship is longer than 2 or 3 years. Maybe 5 years. I want to say 5 years just for a curve, but I say long-term is like 2 or 3 years. But the longest relationship I was in was 1.5 years. The shortest, maybe a week. If you can even call that a real relationship, which I don't think it was.
That's more so the very early talking stage.
Yeah, very early talking stage. But, like I said, let's see. And Mel Hampton in the chat says his first girl left a big scar on him. Which, like I said, the first couple of relationships you're in are going to be your biggest ones. And they're going to determine like how the rest of your relationships go, or how you view relationships to be. Because my friend Bree asked me, because I told her what I've been through with some of the women, she asked me, it was like, well, who hurt you? Or why do you have this mentality towards relationships now? Don't get me wrong, I still believe in a commitment, but it's just harder for me to give myself to somebody, because I was so ready to give myself to somebody that before I realized what baggage that they came with, because they could have been in a completely different stage than me. Because I grew up believing in, fairy tales. let's go ahead and call it what it is. I grew up believing that I should be that knight in shining armor, or that that superhero, that nice guy that a lot of women say that they're looking for, when really it's just the opposite. When the thing is, they want that nice guy, they want that good man at the core, but really they want a guy who has just a little bit more edge to them. But it's like, what else does that guy have? That guy that you like, what people say they want and what they're attracted to are two completely different things. But that's something that people will never truly admit to you.
Right. Well, we must be honest too. With women, some of them, for the most part, what they're looking for is not somebody that's going to exist. They want, like you said, they want the guy that's really sweet, down to earth, really nice guy. He's just nice to everybody, but at the same time, it's a bad boy. And they want the guy that's going to go out here and fight for you, and this, that, and the other. That's not really going to happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work out. You can't have two opposites in one person.
Yeah, unless they're bipolar or something's wrong with them, then yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like I said, it all depends on what stage that person is at their life. But I mean, hey, this might be kind of a cop out, but hell, nobody's perfect. I mean, hell, even in my age, even what I've been through, I will admittedly, I'll be a man and suck it up and say that there's still some things about myself that I need to work on, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, all that stuff. But thing is, I guess it's a part of life. We truly do never stop growing. We don't stop growing until we die.
Right.
And we don't stop learning either until we die, because you learn you truly you learn a new lesson every day. But I mean, I used to, because whenever I made a mistake, whenever something went wrong in my life, or whenever, this didn't really just pertain to a relationship. This is just in general. I'm like, well, what am I doing wrong? Is it me? Did I make a false step? Did I do something from point A to point B? Where did I mess up? While other people are blaming other people around them for their mistakes. It's like, well, that's the thing. That's a part of growth too. Is when you stop blaming others for your mistakes, that's when you can say you're truly grown up.
yourself to see what you can fix, not necessarily what you did wrong, but evaluate the situation to see what could have been done differently to avoid the outcome that you got.
Right. And Mel Hampton in the chat, he says, my first girl cheated on me and I became cold-hearted since. And that goes back to what I was saying about why is it that women are so easy to forgive a man when it comes to cheating, but if a woman cheats on a man once, then she's done and he's been left a scar on him forever. Why is it so much easier for you guys to forgive a man for cheating? Is it because y'all expect it? Is it because you feel like it's in male's nature? Or is it because you're like, well, I have a guy who's attractive, so him cheating is inevitable? But what, like, just from your experience, what is it that you think?
I don't think it's really that we think it's inevitable. It's going to happen regardless. I've had this conversation with a coworker before. When a man cheats, he's cheating literally just to cheat, just to have sex with somebody who is not his spouse, girlfriend, or whatever. When a woman cheats, she's doing it.
It's emotional.
She's doing it for a purpose.
Yeah, it's emotional.
It is.
Or because the thing is, I don't really see too many men cheat for revenge. If a woman cheats, more than likely it's going to be because the man cheated on her first. When women cheat, a lot of the time, women rarely cheat because they're horny. They don't cheat because they have a sexual urge that they need satisfied. No. Whenever a woman cheats, it's for revenge. It's for a purpose. It's for, well, I'm not, the thing is, this is a cop-out, but a lot of women, they cheat because they say, well, I wasn't really getting what I needed from an emotional standpoint, so I just went with this other guy, because I felt like he was giving me what I needed in emotional. But that's the ones that's how you get hurt the quickest. Because the thing is, because of how you feel.
Right, and it's just, like I said, it's just physical for men, but
yeah.
And it may not even be sex with the other guy. It's just somebody who's going to talk to you and not treat you like crap, just doing anything that he's supposed to do in the first place. You may not even sleep with the man. It's just somebody else that you're talking to that's giving you what he's not in that area.
Yeah. But like I said,
it usually leads to sex.
Yeah, it leads to sex, so yeah. Because the thing is, a lot of y'all become emotionally vulnerable. And the thing is, there's some guys who know how to, say the right words, and then, you open up like a book. I'm guilty of that too. I will admit it, There has been some girls who I've been with who had a boyfriend or who were married or whatever. Like, I'm not going to lie. This is a live confession for me. I have been with a woman who had a man who was still in jail, who was locked up. But me and her, he wasn't around. He wasn't talking to her or whatever. So I kind of came into the picture, and then me and her, we started talking, and then, one thing led to another. And she says, well, I can't, we can't completely be together because, she said, don't get me wrong, I like you and everything, but it's just I can't be with you because I still have an attachment to this other guy. And I'm like, well, I understand. And then guess what? As soon as he got out of jail, she just cut me off without saying a word. She wouldn't answer my, my text, my phone calls, my Facebook messages, none of that. And I'm like, well, and then, I'm like, did I do something wrong? And then she's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the guy who I was waiting for came back into the picture. So you know what it is. I got to go. And then after a couple of hours, after sitting by myself or looking myself in the mirror for a couple of hours thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I understand. I should have played my part. I should have played my position. I should know that this was only temporary.
Okay, but in that situation, was that just more of a physical relationship, or do you think she wanted that emotional piece too?
I think it was both. I think it started out as physical, but then, because the thing is, I don't care what anybody says. The more time you spend around somebody, the more that you're going to learn the ins and outs of that person, and the more you're going to become closer to them. You're going to become closer to that person whether you want to or not, because that's just the way people are. The more time you spend around somebody, the closer you're going to get to them, especially if you got something in common.
Well, that's inevitable, because the more time you get to spend with somebody, you can't just sit there and not say anything to each other. You're going to start talking. You're going to start having conversations about likes, dislikes, this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
Like you said, you'll find something you've got in common, and you'll form a bond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Mel Hampton in the chat said, I was actually gonna save this topic for next week. Well, we can do a whole video on this next week. But he says, would you guys be with someone who is out of your league? Women say that about me and they end up thinking I'm a player when I'm not. And the thing is, I've gotten that myself too. And the thing is, when I think of out of your league, I'm thinking I see a girl who's super duper fine with a guy who looks like Shrek, and I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing with her? How the hell did he get her? Or you see a guy who's attractive with a girl who looks like a damn wildebeest, and you're thinking, what the hell are they doing together? I'm like, well, what does he see in her that makes them click? Or why are you dating a girl who's a 5 when you can get somebody who's an 8 or a 9 or a 10 or whatever?
I don't know if it has anything to do with links. This is what my mom has told me ever since high school. When I had my first boyfriend that turned out horrible. She says, and it sounds worse than what it actually means. She's told me to date within your class. Yeah. So not necessarily your class as far as your financial standpoint or what your societal class, whatever you want to say. It's more of date people who have the same mindset as you. So, who have been brought up the same way or who have the same goals as you. Instead of trying to date who is someone, quote, out of your league, you don't have anything in common with.
Yeah, because the thing is, dating somebody out of your league, it does pertain to more than looks too. But, I mean, a lot of people feel like that, because a lot of people seem to date within their match. They seem to date, because I was making this, the thing is, this is what I used to do. A lot of people said that I was single only because I tried to date people who were like, it's like, well, the reason why you're single is because, like, you need to date somebody who is like you. But me, I'm into nerdy stuff. I'm into comic books. I'm into video games. I'm into Marvel movies and stuff like that. It's like, but there's not a lot of girls around here who are like me. So I tried to do something different. I tried to, like, you know what? Instead of for me looking for somebody who's like me, maybe I need to date somebody who's the complete opposite of me. I need to date somebody. But the thing is, I ended up dating somebody who was way too polar opposite. Somebody who smoked and drank and partied all the time and, was around the hood and everything. And I never really grew up around that stuff. So it was a change for me dating a girl who was quote unquote ghetto or hood. And, you got nerdy ass me liking comic books and martial arts and other stuff like that. And the thing is, I guess it was different for them too. But I mean, whatever. But the thing is, me, I consider myself to be a worldly person. I consider myself to be, I was like, you know what? I can find something in common with at least one person, so that's enough to make me give them a chance, instead of me just writing them off because they got something that I don't like about them. But maybe that's a mistake that I've made in the past too, but it is what it is with that.
Right, but even if you find somebody who's not necessarily, like exactly what you are, if you find someone who's similar, that's stuff that you guys can get into together.
Right. Because
you can bring her into new experiences too.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's not really a lot of women who are into the exact same thing that I'm into. Well, I mean, there is, but the thing is, they're not really a lot around here, because I notice around this area, a lot of women do like the same type of guy. But I mean, yeah, I mean, especially if you grew up in the Roanoke area and stuff like that. So yeah, you know what kind of guys that a lot of women around here typically go for.
Well, yeah, but you got to be, Roanoke's only so big too, so there's only, maybe 2 or 3 different types of guys in all of Roanoke, so
yeah,
we're limited on what you want to choose.
Yeah, there's not really, I mean, the thing is, as far as types, like, there's not really a lot to pick from, for women, because,
yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's a statistic, because I talked about this, I made a YouTube video about this, which I thought I was going to get a lot more negative criticism than I originally was, but it turns out I didn't, because it turns out some black women actually agree with me. I'm like, because they say that 7 out of 10 black women are single and not married. And the reason for them being is like, well, is the reason why a lot of them are single, is it because the standards are too high, or is it because the pickings are too slim? And the thing is, black people, they only make up 13.5% of the U.S. population. 6% is black men. 7.5% is black women. So if you count, the thing is, you take 100% of black men. 10 to 15% of black men are incarcerated. Another 10 to 15% of black men are already married in relationships. Another 10 to 15% of black men are homosexual. So if you take 70% of black women are single, then you take 30 to 45% of black men away from them. So that makes it not a lot of black men to choose from for black women. Because you got some who are in jail, some who are gay, and some who are already married. So there's not a lot, of black women. There's not a lot of black men to choose from for black women.
Right, and then some, like you said before, though, too, sometimes they're just too picky with it. Not, say that everybody is. But if you're looking for a specific type, that you're looking for, 6 foot tall, chiseled, blah, blah, this, that, and the other, and you're going to walk past anybody else who's not like that, you're going to miss out on a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah, because that person who you might not be physically attracted to, they might have everything that you're looking for. But the thing, but thing is, like we can go back to what I'm saying. Like, we can go back to what I first said. A lot of people, we all want to be with somebody who we find physically attractive. Everybody wants that because we all want that. The thing is, a lot of men, I feel like men, we slowly but we surely admit this. Like, a lot of men, they do want them a quote-unquote trophy girl, a trophy wife. They want a girl who they can show off to their boys, a girl who they can brag about to their family, this, that, and the other. A lot of guys, they do want that. But at the same time, the thing is, they want them a trophy girl, but a lot of guys are not secure enough in themselves to actually have a girl who's, super, super attractive.
Oh, yeah, because, if you've got that, then you've got everybody else looking at her, too.
Exactly.
Say that she's not looking back.
Exactly. Because you see the whole Ayesha Curry thing that people have been talking about on Facebook about how she said that, she's not getting the amount of attention that she used to. And half of the reasons because she's Steph Curry's husband. I'm like, well, duh, your husband is a professional basketball player who makes who makes tens of millions of dollars a year. So yeah, of course you're not going to get that same attention. And the thing is, I talked about this to my mom too. And she said, well, even with her being married for 34 years, she still gets compliments from other men, but she said she didn't want that same attention that a lot of these other girls get because she's already gotten that. But, she got that same attention when she was younger. But as a woman, you got to decide what kind of attention you're looking for. Are you looking for compliments or are you looking for thirst? Are you looking for, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful, you are gorgeous, any guy would be lucky to have a girl like you. Your husband's a lucky man. Or are you looking for, damn, Ma, look at that ass. I could do some things with that in my bedroom. What kind of attention are you looking for?
And that's what it came down to. I never understood that whole situation. As a married woman in the first place, why are you looking for attention from any other man who is not your husband? I didn't understand that.
Because a lot of them, because a lot of people place their worth in their looks and their physical attraction, and they want to know that whether their relationship with the person they're with works out or not, they want to know if they still got the juice.
But that shouldn't matter. That's why I don't.
It shouldn't, but it does. It doesn't matter, but it might matter. It shouldn't matter, but to some people, that's what they value.
Everybody likes a compliment every now and then, and that's fine. But taking it to the extreme, saying that you wish that you would still get the same attention that you used to get from other men, and that's what you're feeling. That should have been a private conversation between you and your husband in your home.
And Christina Jarvis says, I personally go to a hood store to feel good because if you damn well, if you go to a hood store, you see about 4 or 5 or 6 black dudes, who walk by and they all say, damn, look at that ass. That's the kind of attention. But the thing is, I don't feel like a lot of women want that kind of attention. Well, that's not, like I said, that's not attention. That's thirst. Personally.
Right.
But
it's derogatory in a sense. It's like not really. I don't know, it's not really good attention. It's more of a, she can, wear whatever she wants to and still kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like,
yeah. And me and my friend Joe, we were talking about this a couple of days ago, how he says a lot of women these days don't have any kind of shame. How he said that he was at Sheetz and he saw a woman with, a tube top shirt with her boobs hanging. She wasn't even wearing a bra either. You can see her areola. And he says, God forbid that, she says, well, Christina Jarvis says that's a ego boost, when a woman gets compliments from a man. But he said, God forbid if a guy like me was to go to 7-Eleven and wear some loose fitting ass sweats with no drawers with my you-know-what dangling.
There's always going to be somebody who's going to look one way or another, and they're going to say something either inappropriate or depending on how you take it.
But this is the thing. Do you want me to let you in on a little secret? Well, it's not a secret, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Men, we don't care if you objectify us. Men don't give a damn if a woman objectifies us.
Yeah, because it's an ego boost.
Yeah, it's an ego boost. Like, if a woman says, hey, sexy, to me, I'm going to be like, hey. Because it's like, the thing is, especially if you're a guy who doesn't get compliments from women that often, especially on your looks, then of course it's going to be a little bit of ego boost. But the thing is, the guy who gets, as opposed to the guy who gets compliments all the time, the thing is, he's going to take it the same way, but it's going to be like, hey, well, my ego's already through the roof. I already got enough self-confidence, so I don't need it from somebody else.
That's what it should be, but that's not how people are. Even women, I mean, everyone, like I said, everyone wants that random compliment every now and again. Mm-hmm. But you need to know your limit. You also need to know a limit to what's too far. Like, hey, sexy, how you doing? That's fine, but when it starts to get to a little bit, yeah, look at that ass. No, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
Dial it back.
But a lot of the times, because Ayesha Curry said this in her interview too, because she said, I'm not getting these compliments, is something wrong with me. A lot of people feel like that if they don't get the compliments they used to get, they feel like they lost their touch. I'm like, well, no, it's nothing wrong with you. It's just that, for one, people know that you're a married woman, or people know that you're married, so they respect your marriage. Now, I'm gonna give y'all an example for people who don't know. Take Lauren London and Nipsey Hussle, for instance. May God rest his soul. Now, Lauren London is a freaking knockout. She is gorgeous to me. Cute face, nice smile, got dimples, nice body, cute, nice skin, beautiful skin complexion. She's a cute red bone girl, cute light skin girl. But, she's what most guys would consider to be a 10. But people didn't really come at her like that because they respected Nipsey. Now, on the other hand, you take a relationship like Offset and Cardi B. Now, the thing is, they are married or in a committed relationships, but she openly says that, well, they have an open relationship. And the thing is, she makes it obvious, the thing is, every time you see Cardi B, she's dressed, out there, scantily clad. But, and even Offset says, like, he's like, well, I love Cardi B, we're married or we're together, and we might still be together, we got a family together, we got a child together, but I still sleep with other women from time to time. Now, God forbid, if Steph Curry said the exact same thing, well, I love Ayesha, we have a beautiful family together, we've been married for 10 years, but from time to time, I still sleep around with other women. You know damn well that Steph Curry would get crucified if he said the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah, well, there's definitely a double standard on that, too. I mean, and it should go both ways. She shouldn't be saying it as a married woman. Dude, that whole situation that's due with Cardi B and Offset's already cheated on him.
Exactly.
At least once.
He makes it clear that he sleeps around with other women.
So is that why it's an open relationship now? It's because he's already cheated once. You might as well just keep it that way.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, that once again, that goes back to that goes right back to what we were saying about why a woman will stick with the man who cheats over and over and over.
Yeah, what's Cardi got to worry about? She's out here making her own money, doing her own thing. She ain't gonna worry about him.
Exactly. And
Let's say is in a committed relationship, marriage. It's not, we can step out whenever we want to. Nah, this is a forever thing. Like, unless something's going on that I need to know about, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah, but it's no secret. I mean, the thing is, Ayesha Curry's got to realize what line of work her husband is in. Or in Cardi B's got to realize, because the thing is, it's no secret that a lot of these rappers and these basketball players and football players, it's no secret that the majority of them all cheat on their wives. You got to think about it. These guys make tens of millions of dollars a year, and they're on the road for 3, 4, 5, 6 months at a time. So what do you expect?
Well, usually, I mean, that's what's usually going to happen, but it depends on the person.
Yeah.
And I know there's been talk about him giving too much attention to his female fans and stuff too. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, and he needs to probably dial that back as well. But you're not out here saying, "Oh, well, I'm loving this attention with that and the others because I'm not getting it at home."
Yeah.
There's differences.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you got a family with that person, that should be the thing is that right there should be a game changer. If you have a child with somebody, and if you have a family with somebody, that should be the whole game changer. It's like, well, I don't give a damn if I ain't getting attention from somebody because I feel like I have way too much to lose, especially if I got a child by this person that I'm with. Now, Cardi B, she only has one baby by Offset. By Ayesha Curry, she has 3 kids by Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a game changer, but 9 times out of 10, it's not. And plus, again, Cardi B and Ayesha are so different as far as how they act.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Cardi B's ghetto. It's that good. She is. Ayesha is not.
Exactly.
But she's going to head that way if she don't stop saying some of the stuff she's saying.
Yeah, I mean, because I guess somebody will feel that way. I mean, because I don't know if you have an Instagram or not. I think you do, and I think I actually follow you. Maybe. I think I actually do follow you if you got Instagram. But if you look at Instagram, Instagram is damn near a porn site now, if you noticed. Mm-hmm. It damn near is. Because now the thing is, there's some community guidelines, that you can't show certain parts or whatever. But yeah, now there's a lot of these women who are half naked or literally all naked, and they might like post a picture of a butterfly covering their boobs or whatever. They'll crop it out or whatever, and then they get like tens of thousands of likes if they just post a picture of that. Or they'll have like something in their bio about where they will actually get on camera and strip naked and stuff like that. It's like, well, I mean, I don't mind you doing, everybody's got their own little thing that they do, but shoot, for all that, you might as well, I mean, Instagram nowadays is turned into a strip club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, shit, yeah.
You said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking earlier, social media has changed so many different things, and now it's just a platform. People just want an audience. Most of the stuff that they're going through, either one is not true, or it's not.
Yeah, but, I mean... Exactly. And what about Snapchat Premium? It's the same thing. Like I said, everybody has either an OnlyFans where they get naked on camera or they have a Snapchat Premium, whatever the hell the case might be. Like I said, I don't judge nobody, Like I said, but for all that, you might as well just go to a strip club. You might as well just be a stripper for all that. I know some strippers. So, well, I know people who have stripped before. But the thing is, a lot of people say, well, I know some people who actually have worked at a couple of strip clubs. They just don't go to strip clubs anymore. They just don't work at strip clubs anymore. They figure they can just work from home and just post their naked pictures online.
Exactly. Why would you need to go to a strip club anymore? You can watch it online for free. Hell, and you can go downtown and see it for free too.
Exactly.
There's no point in paying for it anymore. People are just going to showcase themselves all over the internet.
Yeah, it really does not leave anything much to the imagination anymore. It really doesn't. Like I said, Cardi B, like, she makes songs about, if you heard that Bust Down Tatiana remix, then you know what she's all about. So, yeah. If you listen to her music...
She's open about it.
Yeah, she's open about what she does and everything. And like I said, I don't knock nobody who does it. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But, but the thing is, Ayesha Curry, she has prided herself on keeping her sex life, behind closed doors. But, most celebrity women, they all have some kind of scandal about them. They all have some kind of, naked pictures that have been leaked. They all got a sex tape out, i.e. Kim Kardashian, stuff like that, Every month, every year, once a year, Kim Kardashian breaks the internet, about posting a naked picture. And it's like, come on, we send your naked ass on the internet 5,000 times. It's not special anymore.
That's all she knows how to do. That's all she knows to do. I'm not getting any attention. I'm just going to be naked for a minute.
Hey, it works.
And then I'll be good.
It works. I ain't going to lie. It works. Yeah. Do what works for you. But I'm just saying, like, and the thing is, a lot of dudes be like, here's the thing. This is how weird dudes are. And I'll admit, I'm guilty of this. A lot of guys like looking at naked women until it's our girl. We be like, damn, she's sexy as hell. I could do something with that. And then as soon as we get a girlfriend, you better not be posting no naked pictures on Instagram. You better not be posting no naked pictures on Facebook. You better not be getting no naked on no damn Snapchat. Are you out of your mind? And as a man, you should feel that way. Because I'll be damned. I'll be damned if my girl posts her picture of her boobs or her oh, her glistening naked body fresh out the shower for all these other horny ass dudes to look at. No, you're not doing that.
Exactly. That's supposed to be for you and your significant other. At that point, once you enter that relationship, that's just belongs for everybody.
Exactly.
In the first place.
Exactly. It's a respect thing, because I ain't gonna lie. I post my little shirtless pics on Instagram every now and then, and I didn't say anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I post a few, shirtless pics and stuff like that on Instagram every now and then. But thing is, I wouldn't do that if I was in a relationship. I could do that because I'm single now. But if I was in a relationship, ain't no way in hell I'll disrespect my girl like that.
Exactly, and that's the thing too, is it makes, not only is it disrespectful, it makes her look stupid. Not necessarily stupid, it makes her look silly. Your man's out here doing this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. So, what's he doing behind closed doors or what he's not doing?
Yeah. But, the thing is, like, I guess sometimes it is a security thing, because there are some women who are strippers or who might, get naked on Instagram for money or whatever, and they have boyfriends, and their boyfriends are completely fine with it. I mean, but if that's what you do, I mean, if your boyfriend is okay with it and he's secure in that, he's a better man than me. I'm gonna tell you that. He's a hell of a lot more secure than I am. I mean, but the thing is, there's some guys like who have girlfriends who are strippers and they don't mind.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it too. What do you think they met him in the first place?
True. And the thing is, they had to have gone through that before anyway. Or the thing is that I feel like they have to, in order for a guy to be completely secure, they kind of have to not really care that much. Or they're just like they have to be completely secure. They're like, you know what, this isn't the first time, everybody has been naked before. Everybody has been with somebody before or whatever, but you're right. A relationship like that really is not for everybody.
No, most definitely isn't, because, your security, in my opinion, has to be through the roof for you to be okay with your girl stripping. Granted, that may be what she did before you guys got together, but now you're okay with her dancing naked for money and having men watch her and just, she's already undressing, so you can't undress her with her eyes, but just staring at her and literally throwing back at her. Your security has to be through the roof to be okay with that.
Yeah. Like I say, and the same thing with her getting naked on the internet, on Instagram and stuff like that. And like I said, there's a difference between security and just being a mutual respect thing. It's a whole different ball game. Because, like I said, there's no way I'd be doing the same things as, in a relationship as I am, single. I wouldn't post no shirtless picture, because then, I'll get a foot in my ass and a whole earful from my girl. What the hell are you doing posting that picture? Somebody's watching you, yada, yada, yada. I wouldn't, like, if I was to post a picture like that and if I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't hear the end of it.
You should be, because if anything, it's going to be a beginning of a very lengthy discussion.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the thing is, if I was to do something like that, I would have it coming. Because the thing is, you know what kind of attention you're looking for when you post those kind of pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. If I post a shirtless picture, I get a few compliments from some girls. I'm not going to lie about it. Some of them are actually in a relationship too. If I post a picture of my shirt off and a girl happens to like it or whatever, it's been a couple girls who've been in relationships who actually like my pictures, and then they get them, their boyfriends get in my inbox, and then their girlfriends make them block me. Yeah, I've actually had that happen before, where a girl's boyfriend cussed me out, and then he made her block me.
See, and that's them just taking out the anger on the wrong person. That should have been a conversation he had with his girl, obviously, instead of you, because you're just posting a picture. You didn't force her to comment on there. That's what her decision was. So, and kind of back to the Ayesha thing, don't get mad at everybody else because of what she said. You can have that conversation with her.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you're Ayesha Curry, what more else could you want? I mean, you never hear Steph Curry in the news for, he's probably the most clean-cut professional athlete ever. You don't hear about him getting in trouble with the law. You don't hear about him getting drunk at a bar, beating people up. You don't hear about him using drugs or him stepping out on his wife. You never hear about him doing any of that. And meanwhile, you got Offset out here literally sleeping with a different woman every month. Every month, in every different city he's in, he sleeps with a different woman. And Cardi B knows about it.
two different people, two different classes, and it's just not really comparable. Because I mean, I've never seen anything bad about Steph Curry either. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's on a whole different level than Offset. Offset out here doing whatever he wants to with whoever he wants to.
Exactly. And like I said, a lot of these NFL, NBA players, it's no secret that a lot of them get around. A lot of these guys got girlfriends and wives that they cheat on. But thing is, if you watch the show, if you ever watch the show Basketball Wives, a lot of the girls' wives know that their husbands are stepping out on them, but they don't care.
It's not even easier. They're getting all that money. That's all they really care about in the first place.
It couldn't be me. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn how much money you make. That ain't worth somebody stepping out on you, making you look dumb. But hey, like I said, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna have to leave you on that one because I gotta get up in the morning. But I'll know when your next podcast is too.
All right. Well, it's late. I'm gonna get out of here too. But thank you for joining in on the chat. And everybody everybody on Facebook Live. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.